Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to you all. I'm really glad you could join us for what I think is a truly essential explainer. So let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a huge question today. What does harassment actually mean under Pakistani law? And maybe even more importantly, how can you protect yourself? We're aiming to give you some real clarity on this. We're going to walk through the whole legal framework piece by piece. So please do stay with us right to the end to get the complete picture. And hey, if you find this helpful, maybe you share it. You just never know who might really need to hear this. All right, so here's our game plan. We have broken this down into 5 parts. We'll kick things off with the legal definition of harassment. Then we'll look at all the different ways it can show up. After that, we'll talk about the real-world impact, your legal options for justice, and finally, how to take action in a smart and safe way. Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1. We have to start with the foundation, right? What does harassment actually mean in the eyes of the law in Pakistan? Because it's so important to move past what it feels like and get to what it is, legally speaking. So here it is, the core definition. Legally, harassment is any unwelcome conduct, behavior, or communication that causes someone to feel intimidated, humiliated, scared, or even just mentally distressed. This idea, it's the bedrock for all the laws we're about to discuss. Now, this broad definition gets its teeth from 3 key laws. First, you've got the Workplace Act of 2010, which, as the name suggests, focuses on unwelcome sexual conduct at work. Then there's the big one, the Pakistan Penal Code of 1860, which covers things like stalking and intimidation. And finally, there's PECA from 2016, which deals with all kinds of cyber harassment. You see how they form this sort of protective net. But look, figuring out which law applies can be tricky, and that's often where people seek expert guidance from a firm like Legal Bridge LLP, just to make sure they're on the right track. All right, so now that we have that legal foundation, let's get practical. What does harassment actually look like? It can take so many shapes, both online and offline, and recognizing them is absolutely the first step. First up, and this is a huge one today, is cyber harassment. We're talking about online blackmail, someone making a fake profile of you, leaking private content, or sending threatening messages. All of this, this whole digital mess, is covered by the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act, or PECA. Specifically, you'd be looking at sections 20, 21, and 24. Then you have stalking. And let's be clear, this isn't just about someone physically following you anymore. It's about digital stalking too. Obsessively monitoring your movements online, sending unwanted messages, or even gifts. This is a very specific crime under Section 354D of the Pakistani Penal Code. And of course, harassment isn't always something you can see. It can be verbal and emotional. Things like abusive language, threats, constant insults, anything meant to humiliate or degrade you. And yes, the law recognizes this. These actions can actually be classed as criminal intimidation under Section 506 of the PPC, or even defamation under Section 500. Now let's talk about the workplace, because this is a really common and incredibly serious problem. We're talking about abuse of power, creating a hostile work environment, or making unwanted advances. The good news is there's a specific law for this, the Protection Against Harassment of Women at the Workplace Act of 2010. It provides some really powerful protections, especially for women in these scenarios. Okay, so we know what it is and what it looks like. But let's talk about the real impact of harassment. It's so important to get this. The damage goes so much deeper than just the act itself. It can literally ripple through every single part of a person's life. Just think about it. Psychologically, you're looking at anxiety, depression, real trauma. Socially, it can ruin a person's reputation and lead to total isolation. Economically, people lose their jobs or feel they have no choice but to resign. And we have to remember, for the person accused, the legal fallout is massive. We're talking fines, jail time, getting fired. It's also really important to see this from all sides. While women often experience harassment connected to power dynamics and social pressures, men can absolutely be victims too. They might face false allegations, cyber defamation, or even financial and emotional exploitation. The key thing to remember is this. The law is designed to protect everyone. Laws like PECA and the PPC, they're gender neutral. They're there to help any victim. And a professional firm like Legal Bridge LLP handles cases for all victims of harassment. Okay, this brings us to the most crucial part. If this happens to you or someone you know, what do you actually do? The law gives you clear paths to justice. You just have to know which door to knock on. That's the first step. So you've got four main options. For criminal stuff like stalking or threats, you can file an FIR with the police. For any issues at work, you start with an internal complaint. For anything online, you go straight to the FIA. And you also have the option to file a civil suit for things like damages or a stay order. Each route is for a different type of problem, so choosing the right one is key.
And I can't stress this enough. Choosing the right path from the get-go is so important. One little procedural mistake can really hurt your case down the line. That's honestly why expert advice can be a game changer. A firm like Legal Bridge LLP, for example, is all about making sure you start off on the right foot, with the right strategy and all your paperwork in order from day one.
All right, so we know our options. Let's shift gears now from just knowing to doing. How do you take action that's both effective and, just as importantly, safe for you? Okay, here are the absolute key steps you need to take. Number 1, preserve all the evidence. I'm talking screenshots, call logs, emails, URLs, everything. 2, act fast. Don't let time slip by. 3, try to avoid a direct confrontation. It can just make things worse or give them a chance to delete evidence. And 4, pick the right place to go. The police, the FIA, or your workplace committee. Remember, evidence is the backbone of your case, and getting it documented properly is something a professional firm like Legal Bridge LLP specializes in. It can make or break your case. And you know what? I really want to double down on this point. For anything related to cybercrime, the FIA's National Cybercrime Investigation Agency, or NCCIA, is the place to go. They are the specialists. Doesn't matter if it's a fake profile or serious online blackmail, a complaint directly to them is your fastest, most effective route. And yes, since that process can feel a bit overwhelming, getting guidance from a firm like Legal Bridge LLP can really help make it a smoother process.
So let's pull all of this together. What are the main takeaways? First, harassment is a serious crime in Pakistan, and there are strong laws to deal with it. Second, laws like the PPC, PECA, and the Workplace Act are there to protect all citizens. Third, saving your evidence is the single most important thing you can do at the start. Fourth, choosing the right forum, police, FIA, court, is essential. And finally, and this is the most important one, you do not have to go through this alone or in silence.
Look, the law is there to back you up, but you have to be the one to set the wheels in motion. Taking structured legal action isn't just about fighting back. It's a smart, responsible step you take for your own safety and your own peace of mind. And that really is the bottom line, isn't it? For victims facing any kind of harassment, whether it's cyber blackmail or abuse at work, taking structured legal action is essential. For that proactive legal protection, seeking professional guidance from a trusted firm like Legal Bridge LLP is a really responsible first step. Thank you all so much for your time and attention today. I truly hope this explainer has given you some clarity and maybe a bit of confidence. Please, if you found this useful, share it. Let's empower the people around us, because spreading this kind of knowledge is how we help build a safer community for every single one of us. Thank you for watching.
When the world needs protection, it chooses Legal Bridge Corporate Law Firm. Build strong, grow global. Start today.